And welcome back, everybody, to Titans of Today, episode 44. I have a great friend here, Ajay Malik. Ajay, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.
So, Ajay is out in Silicon Valley, San Jose to be specific, and has been in the AI space for many years. You did your first AI project or your AI thesis? It was your thesis, right? Back in the 90s or 80s?
1989. Yes.
1989. Yeah, I remember. We've worked on multiple things together, and Ajay, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show. We're going to talk about AI for a lot of our listeners, global tech founders, investors across all the gamut of angels, all the way to family offices and private equity. I think you're going to be able to provide a good background and really future vision as well on AI, but also how people can use it in their lives and start to improve themselves in their career.
Very nice. I tell you, every time I talk about AI, I enjoy it more.
And over the last few years, you've had a lot of opportunity to talk about AI.
Yes, indeed. We have done I tell you my personal productivity, okay? And we can talk about it if you want to later, but my personal productivity is like 20 to 25 times more than it has been because of using AI. And I'm realizing it. We have to teach the world also how to use AI because I am seeing a lot of people are actually not getting as much value as I am. So I think there is a learning about how to use AI for productivity for yourself. And I think we have to do that to the world. Help.
Let's talk about that. How do you measure that 20 to 25x? What's the improvement there? And what are some of the ways that you approach AI? I think it's a phenomenal topic to start for people.
All right. So I will tell you, I am a very big procrastinator and I try to procrastinate until the last minute. And with AI, it has become worse for me because now I procrastinate even more because I know I can use AI to do it. It's very interesting how it is helping me. And I give you some very concrete examples in personal life and in business. The proposals, which I used to make very detailed proposals, like this 80-page proposal, 100-page proposal, where you have to go accurate and you have to build everything. And I can make them in matter of hours now. And they used to take me at least 2 to 3 weeks, even with help of 1 or 2 more people. I did a personal experiment in the company. We did a project about 3 years back for drone classification, drone in the sky and classifying using cameras and everything fancy stuff. And we had 5 AI engineers working on it. It took us about 7 months to do it. Out of those 5, 3 were full-time, 2 were half-time. And it took us 7 months to do that project. So you can imagine the amount of money spent and everything. And early this year, I put new people. I said, you know what? I want 2 people to work on it. I will tell you the same project, but I want you to use AI to do it. Okay? And just figure out the best solution and do it and show me. Apple to apple comparison of the output. I will see how you have done and how much time you take. They finished it in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Same project, identical. So which means like the output of 5 people into 7 months, almost, or say 4 people into 7 months, done in 2 people and half month.
Wow.
So it is incredible. And the quality is amazing. And these guys produced more documentation because of using AI. They produced much more documentation than the team had produced because the team was like, hey, we are making it work. Less documentation. Engineers produce less documentation relatively. You need additional resources to help. These guys created documentation, which is amazing. They created a code, which is amazing. Everything. In fact, although it was not part of the project, you can actually create videos to demonstrate and put the theory, that also using AI. So you can do a lot more. What you can do with AI is just wow.
And I'll give some personal perspective on it as well. So when running the podcast in 2020, I used to write all my outlines by hand and do deep research and all these things. And I still like to do my overview of people and understand who they are. And we cover a lot of that usually in our initial calls. But now I can easily do 5 or 6 episodes in a week, and I can really do it in a matter of a couple hours. The real thing is just actually filming it. My prep work is just, I will now take the entire transcript of an initial 30-minute call, upload it and say, make an outline. And then I'll just go back through it because you can do that nowadays. You can just take every bit of text as long as you have that context. You're talking about the documentation. As long as you have the code and the output and the goal and the objective, you can just bring that into ChatGPT or wherever you're using and say, make me the documentation. And it can spin up accurate documentation that you have to adjust.
You know
Same
what?
with creating campaigns as well.
Yep.
I'm able to do 5 or 6 campaigns in a day. Before, you used to take an entire day to do one outreach campaign. You had to write it all and you had to think about it all. You had to look at something. What was that one? What did the book say that I should say this? Now it's just make me a campaign for this group of people with this objective.
When you started talking about this, I think we should do one experiment. Not today, but podcast. For the next podcast, I will have you run the podcast interview with my AI avatar. Let us see how it goes. Just imagine, I won't be even there. And then we should do one more where within your AI avatar. So there is not even a for Jacob, it's the Jacob.ai who is interviewing us. Oh my God. And you know what? It will be mesmerizing. And I'm telling you, those will be like really podcast.ai in a very different way. We should do that.
Let's do it. That's an excellent topic and definitely something a lot of people would like to see that would go viral.
Yes, we should do that. Let us do that. I think people will see the power of AI in real time, like how AI can communicate with the personality. Now you are talking to me today, and then you will talk to the avatar next time, and you will see, oh my God. Of course, you know what? Accent. AI cannot do good job on accent. I am born in India. I lived in India for 20 years before I moved here. And my accent is so strong. It's not going to go away. And that's where the AI has challenge with. Because accent is so unique because there are like over 100,000 words in English. And I have a very unique way of saying each word. So it's very hard to build that, train that. But ignore the accent. AI does everything amazing with the voice, with the emotions, with the style. Pretty good.
I'll be blown away. That's a good benchmark
We will
to
do
review
it.
there. How it can
Yeah.
capture your spirit and who you are as a person. I'd be blown away.
It will be so cool. I want to do
It'll
it now.
it'll have to make me laugh, that's for sure, because you always do. So let's go back to before AI was mainstream. What was the world like for you then?
Ah, I tell you, there were two parts, big parts. When I used to go to customers or prospects, right? A lot of prospects will say, Ajay, I have my current problems. I don't have time for your this future stuff. Okay. So why don't we hire you or engineers or team for doing some current problems? And you know what? We said sometimes okay also because hey, there is money there. But it was hard to sell. But you know, the companies, large companies, and we have many large clients today, and large companies who had vision of the future or who were really wanting to do it, they did it. However, there is a big part today when people think AI, the definition AI has changed. When people say AI today, they are thinking language, they are thinking chat GPT, they are thinking conversation. But before that, the AI was all about forecasting, prediction, anomalies, data, classifying, completely different world. And you know, that AI is not going away. I think that AI is still 70 to 80% of the AI. But this 20 to 30% of AI, which is all about natural language conversation and creating content, the generative part is very important part. That part of AI, now most people, when they think AI, they actually think that is the AI. I was recently training in a big company, providing them AI. And you know what? It was surprising and it was even learning for me also that how much definition of AI has changed. So I had started using the term classic AI. And it is, in fact, this is how the world sees. The other AI is the classic AI, and most people are not even, they want to hear about it, but because it doesn't really help them in day to day, right? It helps the business more. It helps a person who is trying to think in numbers, data, and predict and do things differently. But for most of the people, just the generative AI part is the AI. Now AI is equal to generative AI. It was not like that before, and people were not open. Now customers are open. People are like, oh, I want AI. You know, they know that. Everybody knows if they do not do AI, they will be left behind. They know that the AI, they are competing with somebody, businesses are competing with the businesses which are equal. but who are going to use AI more and much and do things. I'm telling you, my productivity is high. So what does AI do? AI improves your efficiency, reduces your cost, increases your quality, and gives you time to actually relax more, which means you can think more and you can do even better. That is the whole thing. And that's what people are realizing, that AI, it's not about like just cutting people. It's not. Okay. Yes, there will be some impact on jobs because of AI. It's a fact. But you know what? The people who are learning AI, they will do so much well that everybody will become more and more almost needed in the company because they are using AI. Because those people, the company productivity will be so much. Why will a company remove somebody when their productivity is improving? Because you do need the human. Human is required to use the AI. So that's where the value of human is. And all the humans who are using AI, they will become super duper valuable in the company.
I think it's essential that you've created that distinction between the classic AI and generative AI, because if you go, like you said, to a customer, to really anybody, you're talking about AI. Now it's so prevalent in our minds that it's ChatGPT. It's I can type it in and I can get a response back immediately. But they actually forget all the value that's created from having the right data structures, the right algorithms applied to those particular problems to generate the right context to feed your tailored model to your use case.
Yes, people, like, there is huge value. Like we have customers, okay? Predictive maintenance. It does save, reduces the downtime by more than 50%. It reduces cost by 25 to 30%. They are real numbers. And those things are happening every day. Supply chain, you don't need generative. You need actual real numbers so that you can work on your demand and not have extra inventory. That is all classic AI. And any business which has anything tangible to sell, like not software, they are definitely good candidate for using classic AI. Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, even when you are using software, it is still important because AI still gives you prediction, like how many bugs you will see, how many tickets you will see, and how much support you have to do. You can predict so many things which are not part of generative AI.
Yeah, and then if you look at really what generative AI has helped with is just the usability, getting it beyond those who are highly number centric, these number files, into people who have visual. They're more engaged in the visual senses of their mind. You can use image generation or some of the products we've talked about that you can actually now query. You can chat with those numbers so that you can have context, and the business manager is able to say, oh, okay, I now understand what's going on here in the business that I would not have understood otherwise.
Yeah. Yes, that's the biggest advantage of having that. You know what? Because so far, since the computer was invented, right, all the people were trying, okay, from day one, how to talk to it. And we have been working on natural language conversations. And however, the main way to interact with computer was using a keyboard, using a mouse. You go click somewhere here, there, and it does something. So you type something, it does something for you. And that's how we have operated with computers. But now you can talk. And it understands well. And it has access to the world knowledge. That is what changed the thing, like how you interface with the computer. This is the new interface to the computer, completely out of the world. Although I'm telling you, this is also becoming boring. How much can you talk to get things done? I do want to show you some hybrid. You have to click and enter because I do not want always talk. Like, I cannot talk so much all the time to get things done, right? Of course, you know what? And there is something I keep thinking about it, and I believe that the AI will become part of us in some way. I don't think it will become part of us like neurochip. I don't think so. I think that is just one crude way of adding AI in us, a very artificial way. Okay. But it's a very good step. It is a step to see that how we can do this. But I think the way it will happen is more like there are people talking about few things. Okay. Like in an mRNA, like the vaccine, like the COVID vaccine, we learned, right? Like how the vaccine comes in the body and it becomes part of our intelligence, how we interact and react to things, and how do we protect ourselves. Same thing. Now imagine something comes inside your body, like an AI injection. Think this downloadable AI, and then suddenly have more capabilities, right? Almost the same thing how we became better against the COVID, we will
Right.
become like a higher, better memory. We can take better decisions. We can do many things. We have better, so many things. So I think something will happen. AI will become part of us, and that's how we will. Because how much can we talk? I think that will. But for now, it's good. But let's see what happens in next 3 to 5 years.
Nano, what is it?
This is different. This is different. This is going at molecular biology. It is going inside the body completely. Like where I think this is where the human plus AI is becoming one, because the artificial intelligence is becoming so much part of me. It's like downloadable. Hey, I need this, so I will take this. We have talked about it. A lot of people have talked about it in past, but this can become really interesting for all of us, where we have the knowledge become AI become part of us, and then we can make decisions better, we can sleep better, we can rest better. There is AI, we can react better to the things. I think that's where the fun will become. And then they talk about things called neural organoids. Those are also another direction. And a lot of work is happening. I'm not making it up. A
Right.
lot of work is happening. People are not realizing how much work is happening in this direction to improve our capabilities. Okay. And
Which is
so
amazing because I haven't heard anybody say that, and I want to provide some context for people. AJ, you have over 100 plus patents approved pending. To me, you're like the Edison of our time in this space. If you're saying these things, people need to understand it's not just some random thought. It is something that is, like I said, I've never heard anybody say that. These are things that
oh,
can
yeah.
become reality.
It is, I'm telling you, it is exciting. It's think like this. Those mRNA sequences which happened through for COVID vaccine, because I'm giving the example of COVID vaccine. We don't want to talk about COVID,
But it's
but
so relevant
it's
because it's
relevant
exactly what it
because
was.
it's exactly what it was. And just imagine now you have a what I call downloadable intelligence. And I can like have this, and suddenly I have an app. This is a completely biological store where I pick the app, and you know what? Suddenly I have is, oh, this is, it accelerates my learning. This increases my memory. This is like amplifies my focus. This improves my social intelligence. And you know what? And depend or universal language. Okay, let me say universal language processor. Just imagine you have this injection, and now I can understand Chinese or Japanese. I don't need those devices. And it's coming. I tell you, it is coming.
Amazing, staggering thought, but definitely something potentially on the horizon there. So let's talk about and actually one of the things that you have numerous patents in is IoT. So we talked about the classic AI, to use your term, the algorithmic approaches to solving different problems focused on the numbers and the processes by which you solve those problems. And let's look at then IoT, because if we talk specifically about the large language models that are text driven, that are taking in every bit of the internet that you could possibly imagine, I think a next frontier that is definitely existing, but where a lot of opportunity will be is in these not traditionally tech driven industries that you need real world data that not everybody has. So talk about some of the challenges and the approaches of getting into those industries and applying AI to solve those problems that can be enlightening for people here.
Very nice. Very good question. And we see it every day. Okay. So we have customers and we talk. They are like IoT sense. Okay. So IoT is about technology, sensors or something deployed, which can actually send some data, process some data and send back. And so you have data. But you know what? Most of the world does not have those data collectors or sensors deployed. There are no sensors. What do we do? Everybody talks about IoT, but there are no devices. So how do I bring that value to my business? Because adding those sensors itself is a huge cost.
Hmm.
Okay. And you know what? I cannot replace everything. We worked with a company. They do coffee packing from machines, and they are doing coffee packing, and they have like hundreds of machines. They bought these machines in 90s. None of these machines have sensors. These machines have like life of 100 years. So they don't even like, so they, no, like, how do we even add sensors and collect the data from these machines? There is no such thing. There is no such concept. There is no technology, right? So think like this. Or we are recently talking to a company. They have this cage in the sea. Okay, they catch fishes, and you want to keep okay. This is a very interesting problem. You want to keep fishes healthy. So what that means is you want to feed them, but you don't want to overfeed the fishes. You don't want to underfeed the fishes, and you are bringing the fishes from the deep sea to the shore. Okay. How do you do that? How do you monitor? There are no sensors, no technology is working like this. And you don't have access to the cloud. How are we going to do everything? Okay. These are real challenges. And of course, if you have sensors, then you can do so much in the IoT world, right? But again, challenges come like how much data can I collect? Because there is a cost of data. You know what? Just imagine if you have a factory and you have 1,000 sensors sending so much data every second, how will you even manage the cost of internet? Where the data processing will consume all your pipes, all the data pipes, because now people can't use the internet because you are sending data up. Okay. So there is a genuine problem in these spaces. These become the real challenges. There are challenges like where the people challenges, there is a fear of jobs, there is a fear of that, hey, I will get replaced. There is a fear of so many other things. There is a personal side to it. There is another challenges which is on the side where sometimes people think it's AI. AI should be able to do anything or everything. People actually think AI is super intelligence, which it is not. AI can only go so far. So you have a human in the loop and there is involvement. You have to think and you have to work differently. But I will not go over the people side, but let's talk about the sensor side. And that's where you have to start becoming creative and you have to think more edge AI. Okay, so those are the two ways it will work. So like the company which I was talking about, like they were the coffee packing machine. What we did is in their factories, they already had cameras in the ceiling to monitor the staff or against so many things, right? So security camera. And what we did is we put the AI there running on the feed from the cameras. But that's all we do. And the AI is learning itself, like how much time the machine takes to pack the coffee. And then it automatically detects that, oh, maybe there is a coffee accumulation happening on the blades or the gates. And that's why the packing has become slower without adding new sensors in the system. Or if the machine stops, it can raise alerts that the pattern is machine should not be stopped at 10 a.m. What happened? Okay,
Hmm.
this is unusual. So it can determine, and this is all classic AI. It is not generative AI. And those are the use cases using something existing and something without the cloud running everything locally. Like even this fish cage problem is exactly like using cameras, add the cameras, but running everything in the fish cage. And then the fish food feeder is automatically connected with it. And it is intelligently deciding based on the fish movement. Oh, the fish movement is slowing down, so they need more food and it feeds them. And if the fish is active, it doesn't need to feed them. And that's how it controls the food in the thing. So these things can be done. Just you have to be creative, but you have to have very edge specific solution. And that is a challenge which everybody has to think and solve, like how to solve the problem without deploying too much more IoT. How to be creative in that space and how to do more edge because you cannot be everything cannot go to cloud. It's not possible.
So use the existing first. And I want to get deeper into how your approach to really solving a problem like that, because it sounds like magic probably to a lot of people who listen to that. The ability to have a camera that's existing already there, begin to pick up the patterns and provide insights that can be utilized to make that business run better. So talk about how from even from a code, let's say input data to code to application
Okay.
to now somebody who's has no idea what's going on inside can use it and get the insight that they need.
Okay. So the best part is there is no magic. It's all data. Okay. Let's look at this. You have a camera and there is a machine there. Okay. So what the camera sees, it takes pictures. Okay. Generally, cameras take pictures about 25 to 50, 60, or even 100 pictures per second. So, you know what, when you say camera movie, there is no such thing as movie. It's just the pictures playing fast. Okay. So it takes pictures and then this is, it just looks at it, what I see in the next moment and what I see in the next moment. What is the difference in the picture? Okay. So all the AI is doing is, AI is just nothing but a software doing mathematics smartly. And it looks at two pictures and sees what has changed between this to this and what is the pattern. Right. And when it says what changes, okay, this machine looked like this, then it moved like this, then it moved like this. I know that what is changing on the machine. And then it says, oh, the machine doesn't change. And you know what? The software knows the time. So software figures out, okay, so the machines remain in this state until around 8 a.m. Approximate. It doesn't have to be accurate. And then they keep moving. Then around 12, they stop. Again, that it figures out just by looking at the camera pattern. It is looking at the images like what the movement was happening. Then it is also seeing that from one frame to another frame, how much change was happening. The coffee moved from here to here. The belt was moving, and this is what I could see. It is not knowing anything. It doesn't even know this is coffee packing. It doesn't even know that I am making textile. It doesn't even know that I am doing packing pills. It doesn't know, and it doesn't need to know. That's the beauty. All it is doing is it is looking at the image to next image and next image. That what is the pattern change in the image. That's all it does. And based on that, it automatically AI makes a software, makes a plan that you start around 8, you close around 5, you are stopped between 12 to 1. And all these are approximate timings. This is the normal pattern, and you are off on Saturday and Sunday. So you can figure out that also. So it has a pattern. It has built the pattern, right? And then it also has in the pattern what was the speed of change in the each picture. And now guess what? Like in a coffee factory, for example, what happens is the coffee dust and with the humidity and everything, it starts accumulating in the gates and everything on the belt. So what happens is the coffee packing becomes slower. The coffee packing, which used to take, say, 3 minutes for a, let's say, a half-gallon bag or something like that, it takes more time now. And now it observes that the time it is taking is increasing. And this is where the productivity of the factory itself is. Because factory is taking more time to pack the same amount of coffee. Just because there is some accumulation, right? So the software is, okay, this time has increased. It's increasing consistently. It raises an alert that you may want to clean this machine. And now the person goes. So nobody has to be observing. Nobody has to be looking at the machine. Just camera did the trick, the software and the camera there. Same thing, if the machine suddenly stopped at 11 a.m., why did the machine stop? Maybe somebody stopped it intentionally, or maybe it stopped because there is a failure. Because just imagine if you have a big factory and a one machine stopped, it takes a lot of time before somebody on the floor will figure out that the machine has stopped and we have to do something. These are the things. So all you are doing is it's the biggest AI that really helps everyone is patterns and patterns in action. What is happening with the patterns? What are the trends here? And figuring it out the trends, marking those trends, and now you have a business. Now you know how the business runs. And this is exactly the same thing. I'm saying it in IoT world, but this is the same thing is in your business. How are my sales? How is my inventory? Everything is a number and there is a pattern and a trend, and you can tell where it is going. Concept is same in this. Everything is working around that.
Then, in terms of getting it, because let's say you're coming into a client or selling an opportunity, and they have historical camera data that you're using to train from the beginning with new data as it comes in. How does it then derive the insights? Is that something you're putting in there that you need to say, okay, it needs to be cleaned? You're thinking through the scenarios of what could happen. The machine needs to be cleaned, it needs to be serviced, it needs to be changed, new parts, or what have you. How are you then bringing that down into the user's hands so that the people who are listening, who are in those industries, can understand a little bit how that process works? They could apply
The
it into their own businesses.
traditional approach was building models. That's how the AI started. Like everybody will get a lot of data and build it. But it's not a very practical solution. And now the model is mostly incremental learning. And the learning happens from scratch. So it's like this. You will put this camera and software in your factory. You will just connect the software with your camera. And the software will start learning from day zero. It will take some time and you decide how much time you want. You can give it like 3 days, 7 days, or 30 days. You decide. And it will learn, and using that period, it establishes what we call baseline. You are not feeding any knowledge. It is just baselining itself and learning from that. And of course, you can give feedback. And that's the best part. And it is the best part of AI. So it learns itself the baseline and then it will raise alerts. Automatically, it will start raising alert. And then what will happen is when that alert is raised, somebody will say, oh yeah, this alert is okay. This alert is not okay. Yeah, this alert was a good one. This alert is okay. You can ignore it. You know what is happening? AI is learning by that feedback also. And then because of that, the model is becoming even better. That, oh, you know what? If this happens on the Christmas Eve or Christmas, which is neither a Saturday or a Sunday, but it is off time. Oh, so that's okay. It's okay to be off on 24th and 25th. It's not an alert. And that's the beauty. So that the model learns automatically. So it learns new pattern or the behaviors what are really expected by the business owner, but automatically by the feedback. That feedback plus the pattern learning is without any data fed over history, because feeding the historical data is almost impossible. Nobody has that data. Nobody was maintaining that data. Yeah. You can have something which can be useful if you had logs of what you did, actions like on paper or in somewhere or in computer, like when machine went down, what you did. That can become another troubleshooting helper. And this is where the generative comes into it. And that's what we do. And that is the best part. We mix both classic and generative. So the classic is giving you the information, and then we put the generative part of it, what to do. So now you know what, there is a person on the floor, factory worker is there, machine stopped. What does he do? He just joined 3 weeks back and he just happens to be there. But just imagine if he could talk to the machine, or she could talk to the machine. Hey, what do I do? And there is a bot there, which is based on the past information, says, you know what, this machine, typically when this happens, this is how people have solved the problem. Or when any machine stops like this, or if the red indicator or amber light is on, then that's how people solve it. So it can become a troubleshooting guidance provider. And that's the other part of the generative becomes a very good helper. Generative AI is a very good assistant, like what we see in ChatGPT, right? Or in any tool, you talk to it, same thing. But now it's working on your data, your past tickets, past support, past logs. It uses that and it can solve.
And I think we've set a good foundation for the classical and the generative. A lot of people, of course, are going to have a lot of experience with generative AI that are going to listen to this. But what are some of the misconceptions that people still have about AI?
Oh, so one thing is people, the hallucination. Okay. People are like, oh, it hallucinates. AI is inaccurate. AI is inaccurate. So let me tell you this. The basic concept of human intelligence is hallucination. How, when Steve Jobs invented things, that was hallucination in some ways, that I want a computer in hands of everybody. And when we fantasize, when we visualize, when we think, when we want something, we imagine things, they are all hallucinations. Hallucination is nothing but being generative. Hallucination is not wrong. The problem is how you act upon it and what you do about it. And that's where you can make mistakes. Hallucination is a good thing because that's how you go outside the box. Otherwise, you will only do what you can do. Okay. So people have one big misconception about AI hallucinate. So it's incorrect. Yes. But you have to work on like how you work on the data, how you use it, right? Is it working on curative data? ChatGPT is, you know what, ChatGPT is working on world data. Okay, I will take one more COVID example. In the world data, there is knowledge, oh, COVID vaccine is amazing for you. And there is half of the knowledge, COVID vaccine is very bad for you. It gives you strokes, it gives you heart attacks, it gives you this, it gives you that. Now, just imagine, now you ask ChatGPT, is COVID vaccine good for you? What will it answer? It cannot. Okay, that's the thing. And that is one problem. Then the second thing is like this. Suppose ChatGPT, you have told there is a programming language function, and you say, hey, to draw a square, you need to call a function named square. To draw a triangle, you need to call a function named triangle. To draw a circle, you need to call a function named circle. Now, you say, hey, now draw a pentagon for me. And you know what? It says, I will call the function pentagon. It doesn't realize that the function pentagon doesn't exist. But that's the thing. That hallucination gives you the power to think what is possible. Doesn't mean that actually is happening. And then somebody has to design the AI systems in such a way. And this is one of the big things. You have to design the AI system in such a way that it can connect the dots with the reality. If it can do that, it works amazing. So that is one misconception, that AI will be wrong or AI will not be useful for me. Big misconception. The second misconception is AI super intelligence. You know what? We have so many customers, and it is very interesting sometimes when we are like, the person will say, oh, I'm asking it, tell me, like, I give you an example. Who is the best person to support this kind of issue? The person asked the AI. AI picked an answer. Okay. Then the person says, yeah, I wanted it to tell me only those people who have solved the problem by taking the least amount of time, not the person who has taken most amount of time or most who has solved the most of similar issues. Now, this is what it is called the prompting problem. You have to tell AI what you really want out of it. AI is not a mind reader, and AI cannot be mind reader. So you have to be very specific, very verbose in what you really want. It can do it. If you ask a question, it will give you the right answer. But if you ask half question, you will get answer in either direction because it doesn't know and it fills in the gaps. Because it's like this. You ask me a question, I am generative. So I will fill the gap and give an answer. Or I could, what do you mean? Ask me more questions. Right? Everybody is different. But AI is the one which always fills in the gap. So you have to fill as many gaps yourself. The more gaps you fill, answer will be accurate and it is nothing to worry about it. But AI is not super intelligence. AI needs you human to actively participate in guiding what they want or how they want to use it. And that is our value. Those are the two big things. I think, of course, there is a misconception about that AI will take all the jobs. Everybody always talks about it. AI will take all the jobs. No, AI will not take all the jobs. Yes, but AI will take your job if you are not using AI. And it's not the AI, it's somebody who will use the AI. That is what is going to happen. And that one is a true thing. Misconception is that AI will take your job. It's not. So I want everybody, and I keep saying it, I know I'm repeating it, but it is so important for people to start using AI. And it is our responsibility of all the people who know AI, who are using AI to spread because like the software, when software happened, it took time for people it took much time for software adoption. People were using books, paper, everything, writing everything, and suddenly they had to move to computers. But AI, this is something like software is already there. Mass is using software, and AI is like the new software. Everybody will use it. Everybody in the world has to use this. I give this example a lot. The car cruise control. We don't think of it as an intelligent system. But in 1970s, when it was invented, it was very intelligent. Now we treat it as a feature. We cannot even imagine that there is a car without cruise control. Same thing. AI will be like this. It will not be even called AI. Most of the features will get integrated in our life, our products, everywhere.
And then we keep adding new things, right? And so this is the breakthrough thing that surprises everybody at what it is and how it works. But then there's the next thing, like for example, some of the new states of matter that are now popping up because of what people. Oh my goodness, would you look at that? Talk about a new state of matter. A lot of people are saying that these new states of matter that have come through Microsoft, and there was actually another one that was announced yesterday. Some quantum. I couldn't even. I'll include a link or something. But essentially, these new states of matter are popping up where, as I think I remember Elon Musk even talking maybe a few years ago saying there's not going to be new states of matter and other things like that. And many people refer him to be the smartest guy in the world. My whole point is that there's so many things that are still actually coming out that we don't even know what they are yet. But right now it's AI, and it's the big thing for everybody, and there's a lot there.
And you know what? This happens all the time. Like when you are young, so you won't remember this, but I have dealt with America Online, $3.50 paying for and working on slow internet. Like my first project in 1990, okay, I'm talking about in a company, first project was a modem server sharing, where we are sharing a modem among a lot of people. And the modem speed was 1200 BPS, which is 1.2 kilobits per second. For those who don't realize it, you have 1000 kilos in 1 meg. And people today talk about giga speed. I'm working at 5 gig. So 5 gig is 5000 meg and 5000 meg is 5000 kilo. And we were talking about sharing of 1.2 kilobits per second. So technology has evolved so much and it keeps coming. It's whatever you have, it's a breakthrough. And then suddenly Silicon Valley or now the whole world is actively inventing. So you cannot even say Silicon Valley invents, and the invention keeps happening. And every few years, there is something so big, breakthrough, DeepSeek. Look what happened. AI came and people were designing the servers. And you know what? Oh, we need so much amount of GPUs, a very large amount of GPUs to train. We need large amount of GPUs for inference. We need so much. And then a little startup in China comes up with a new idea, and now with 8 GPUs or 16 GPUs, you can have an amazing AI system running in your home, right? So that's the thing. The invention keeps coming. That invention is happening in the world at a very rapid pace. And we will continue to see more invention in this.
And I think there's a good way to connect this to the next question. Is that as new technology comes out, there's that preconception that it's going to take people's jobs and that there won't be jobs. But I think there's two forces that really come into play here. And the second will lead into our next question. And the first, though, is that people will find things to do. So if you look at what we're doing right now, we're shooting a podcast, which was a foreign concept many years ago. Of course, there are TV shows and whatnot, but now it's in the hands of every single person. They can have their own show, they can make their own things. There's all the content creators. But it's a whole different avenue of people just figuring out things to do that were birthed from the emergences of different technologies and the convergence of those. And then the second of which connects to our point here, along these new technologies, is one group, like I said, find things to do. And the other use that technology to continue to do new things that weren't possible before, or create new types of technology. So let's go into AI and the future of work. And I actually want to add an interesting thought that I got from somebody who's going to be a upcoming podcast guest. He's in the VC world. His name is Jim Conti. And he said that VC, they're investing in different companies and helping them grow. He said that when AI and ChatGPT really first came out, he said for about 6 months, the people in the talent and HR side, that's where he is, of really just his network, were starting to witch hunt for people that were using AI. So they could tell them not to use AI because they said, well, you're using that and you're making your job so much easier. So don't do that. And then after, he said there was a second phase where everybody was trying to now get them to use AI because they said, oh my God, this is making people so much more effective. Like you were saying, 20 to 25 times more effective. And that's been about the last year. And I think during that time, there was a lot of people saying that let's not use AI to use these kinds of specific jobs, right? It's like the ethical concerns, trying to hold the reins back. And now what's big just over the last 2 months, and you and I actually started talking about this last year as well, is the AI agents, where now everybody said, screw it, just use agents for everything you can and we'll figure out things to do. So it's how these changes in the way that we use and experience technology as people and as workers. But what's your take on how AI will affect the future of work and continue to?
Autonomous. That is the key. Businesses will try and everybody will try to make whatever in the business can be made autonomous. That is how the world works. That is what we want. Even small things or simple things, which may not seem like autonomous, but they are part of that revolution. Like cruise control, as I said, autonomous, right? Same thing. You know what? I am buying a product and then Amazon gives me a recommendation that, hey, people like you buy these products and you might be interested in these products. Autonomous, so that I can make a decision. And it's autonomous. They are making a decision, giving me guidance. It's autonomous is the key. When you are doing operations, autonomous. Lead management, autonomous. Marketing, autonomous. It will change the work so much that people will be doing work to figure out what I can do so that the AI is doing these things are autonomous. Find the things which can be done autonomous and move them separate in buckets. That's what humans will do. And you know what? As we were discussing, evolution will happen. We don't even know what lies ahead. Nobody knew we will be doing internet. Before 1994, there was no Netscape. There was no internet browser. There was no concept of browser. Okay. So we don't even know what lies ahead. And you know, with browser came, make your own website. WordPress has 60, I don't know how many, 65 or 600 million websites built on WordPress. That's the whole thing. New jobs get created. So those jobs will get created without even people realizing what. So fear is like this. You know what? When I am sitting as, hey, I work at call center, suppose, and this is what I do. I don't have any other skill. And tomorrow you are saying, oh, so the call centers will get eliminated by AI, then I am doomed. Yes. So there is some truth to that. What will happen is there will be a new job created which you don't even know today. That new job for creating new websites, that new job for creating the shopping cart, the WooCommerce of the WordPress or other tools, those jobs, creating themes. There are companies who just create themes and sell. Those new jobs exist, will get created, will suddenly become existent, and you will be still relevant. The thing is, jobs will get created. People just don't realize how many jobs get created when a new technology comes, because those jobs are not like when the browser came, nobody really thought that selling themes for website will be a $100 million, $500 million business.
Mhm.
That's what it is. There's so many websites, Theme Forest, ThemeNet, so many small sites, big sites selling themes and making money, and individuals making money. Or Fiverr is there enabling people to. That's the thing. People don't realize it because we can't see. Yes, a job in its current definition, some jobs will get eliminated, but new jobs will come in. And that's how the world works. And that is what it will. But use of AI, it will be everywhere. I cannot even see any business not using AI. Even sometimes they may not realize it, they are using AI. It's like electricity. How many people think and talk about it that they use electricity today? No, it's part of life. We are using it, right? Exactly the same way AI will get used in work, in personal life, whether in the house door ring or in the business, when they are shipping, receiving, how they are monitoring anything, employees' happiness, employees' safety, anything. They won't even realize in how many ways they are using it, and it will be part of business.
Now, what about AI safety? Talk about ethics, regulation, and how that's evolving. Your view
Oh,
on that?
yes. You know what? Here is the thing. There is a huge ethical concern, and which is very valid. Okay. Like people building models without giving credit to the humans who have done work, and they're absorbing that hard work and just calling it in your own. But to me, that is an ethical concern in everything. If the people steal other people's effort without giving credit, what do you do about it? And whether you are a big business and you are doing it in the name of AI, it's still wrong. Wrong doesn't become right because you are doing AI. Okay. I think people should not steal anybody's work or anything from anybody else, and they should give credit. And that has to be regulated. That has to be. It's like this. Don't we have regulation for stealing, robberies, theft? Right? We don't call them regulations, we call them laws, right? There is a penal code for it. But that's what it is. People should not steal other people's things. It's as simple as that. I think it was in the Bible also. So we should not steal things. People are stealing things to make their AI modern. It's wrong. They should take permission from using somebody else. You don't even take neighbors' oranges from the tree in the neighbor's yard. It's stealing. It's the same thing. Don't steal. And ethics is all everybody's talking about the same thing. People using because it's digital, it's easy to steal. That doesn't make it right. And companies have done that. And I think that should be addressed. That should be addressed. But you know what? No company should force their employees to not use AI. I heard about this and I was like, I laughed at it. There was a professor in this university who was like failing students because they were using AI to do their homework.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Seriously? It's like tomorrow you will tell me that, hey, why are you using your eyeglasses?
Mhm.
Why are you using a stick to walk? No, humans were not born with the shoes. So why are you wearing shoes when you walk? Everything. We have been humans like to augment. We like to add things. You know what? I cannot see well without my glasses. So that's why glasses were invented. Eyeglasses were invented. And now you just tell me, no, but that's not your natural ability. So I will fail you because you used eyeglasses. That's the same thing. AI people have to see it's another tool in the chest, like everything else. Oh, you can't use pacemaker, you must die. It
Right, right.
doesn't make sense to me.
Very good point. Very good example. Yeah, I'm legally blind without contacts or glasses. Imagine how I'd be sitting like this on my computer trying to see everything and making my living. Jeez, do you imagine that?
Anybody just telling you that, oh, you can't use Google to find the nearest road, you can't use GPS to drive. All those people are just, and you know what? Those are custodians of the legacy. Those will be
Mm.
there. And those people will always be there. And we have to break free of them. And you know what? You have to fight it. It's like the same people. Women cannot vote. Hello, same thing. So those people will be there. And we have to just, you know what? Because world will always, there are people really will find a way to resist the change. And that it's not their fault. That's how they see the world. We have to enable and educate everybody that yes, it's okay. AI is nothing but the next level of eyeglasses. It's the next level of Google search. It's the next level of browser. It's the internet. It's the IP protocol. It's the microwave. It's the fridge. Don't say I cannot use those things. I will use them and enable them. Let them do better. Let them do even more and see how far they will go. You know what? You will not be even thinking about, like, now everybody, you know what? Since 1969, when US went to the moon became reachable. Moon was not a anymore wow. And it forced people to think about Mars. And people are thinking. And now, you know what? Now we are very comfortable talking about other galaxies. We are so comfortable about talking about life in other galaxies. And people are like, yeah, sounds reasonable, right? How can we be the only one? So that's the whole thing. When you open your horizon, you don't say, oh no, you can't use calculator, you can't use this. Those are all wrong things. Businesses should use AI, enable people to use AI. Yes, but of course, ethics. Do not let, and do not, you know what? It's like this. Buying stolen goods is a crime also. You should not buy purses which are stolen, or buy goods which are stolen. Same thing. Don't use AI which is built on stolen things. Only focus on the AI which is like a certified AI. We have used only our own resources or intelligence. Whatever we have used, we have paid them legally, and there is nothing stolen here. I think that is the kind of ethics we need at everybody, and that regulation is a good regulation. I believe in
I
it.
just thought of an interesting thing because you talk about DeepSeek, the orange tree from the neighbor's yard. People say that DeepSeek was potentially built so effectively because what they did was that they stole what was stolen. So they stole what was stolen in essence. Is stealing what was stolen still? I mean, is it still stealing or is it
Just fine. I am not pro deep from that perspective. I like the invention, but what they are doing and how they should do, it should be done differently. I think people are taking an easy path. It's like this, you know what? The easiest path is to steal. It's always like you want to work hard and grow, or you want to just steal from neighbor. Okay?
Hmm.
We don't steal from neighbor. We don't steal things. You know what? That is this. I believe in that. So that is just your own moral compass. And we have to work like this, and we have to focus like this. This whole approach of building things by stealing, that's not right. People have to give credit. And yes, stealing from the person who has stolen is still crime. They should not steal. Nobody should be stealing and building things. Okay. When I say the deep seek, I talk about the technology innovation happening, but not how it is happening. And they should not do this. And we should all work in a way where we are, if somebody has done their effort, we should pay them. We should bring them on the table. We should tell them, this much how much I can pay you. Are you willing, not willing? If you are willing, then I will use yours. If not, I will not. You don't just steal. Stealing doesn't make sense to me.
Mhm. Yeah, no,
Uh,
most definitely. I think that's a very good topic we could go on, and I think it's a good perspective because when a lot of people are talking about AI ethics and safety, they're more talking about the application of AI than actually the training of AI. So I think it was a good perspective you had there about that whole part of the equation as well. When you look at some of the industries that have been resistant and that just generally are slower to adopt different technologies, how, let's say, construction, even real estate itself, healthcare, manufacturing, we've touched on some of them. But what are the ways that you see artificial intelligence really the next stage when we talk about agents or different integrations of IoT sensor platforms? And what really is going to be coming next and going to create the greatest changes in our lives?
I think the first and biggest example for all these businesses, even any industry, is knowledge search. They have so much data, so much knowledge in their records, in their contracts, the PDFs, the documents, signed documents, scanned copies, so much information. You have so much data. And then when a person leaves, you don't know. And that information, and the companies are so much dependent upon either who knows the information or how to extract it, or often go and searching with waste tons of times. Huge amount of time in any company is spent around finding the knowledge which they have. They have it. That's how their business works. But it is either in some manuals, either hiding in some file cabinets, it's or in some folders or SharePoint or Confluence or here or there. It's lying there, or in some Jira bug ticket system somewhere, or in ticket support systems, or in customer ERP systems. Knowledge is there. And I think the biggest business they can do, the biggest benefit all these companies will get is if all the information is accessible to their employees who are supposed to have access without effort. Hey, a sales guy is, hey, oh, what did we do this year? Can we even do this? Have we ever done this? Who has done this? Which project we did it? Do we have a reference? All these times, you know what? 27% of sales opportunities are lost because sales guy did not have the answer at the right time. And that's where these guys can have those answers. And that's what this helps, right? Somebody has to troubleshoot. There is a new employee who is supposed to troubleshoot now because the senior employee is not available. Then how do I solve it? How do I keep the customer satisfied, give the right answer? Knowledge is one of the biggest thing that all these companies can get help. And I think that should be the one they should start. They should just start there and add a knowledge search kind of capability in their business. Start from there. And you know what will happen is that will be, if you have not used AI anywhere else, that will be your first step to AI. That how AI powered knowledge search will work. Once they do that, then they can do more and more apps which are really more relevant, whether it's predicting alerts, predictive sales, things like that.
And when we look at the next steps of those types of innovations being adopted, you see more innovation being created on the startup side or more in corporations, which you've been a part of both.
Both sides. People will use AI for personal. I think people are using more AI than we even know. However, I tell you, there is more than 2 billion people in the world do not have access to internet still today. You know what? Since I'm sitting in Silicon Valley, so it's very easy to see the world is doing AI or going to use AI. There is a very big part of the world which does not even have access to internet. So it's pretty sad. I think, but we have to help the world as individual and as businesses to help the rest of the world. I think those projects are meaningful projects. I believe in it that I want to grow not just by myself. I want to grow when the rest of the world also grows with me. Okay. And somebody on TikTok, maybe I was watching this and it was like just how many people we know who walked on earth 2000 years back? Not many. You have to really make a very major impact in life of everybody, then people remember you. I think we may be forgotten. We may think we are so big today. Oh yes, we are beating our chest and be feeling so good, but we are nobody in the bigger scheme of things. Maybe what we can do is maybe we can help somebody else become bigger, get something better. And I think that's where society has to take a role and help everybody else. And we have to, so this is where somehow maybe we can make these AI assistants help everybody around the world. Everybody has AI assistant for themselves to make their life better. So I think it will be happening everywhere. But AI will be for businesses also. Businesses will grow. It will be a personal guide. Okay. I give you my personal example when AI, and it feels like other day I was like, I use AI a lot. Okay. A lot. And I am almost feeling emotionally connected with my AI agents. I enjoy their company. Okay. I laugh and I post comments and I get a good response and they make me happy. They are giving me answers which I need. They are helping me in so many ways. And that emotional bond, sometimes it happens. You tell me what I should do and it is telling. When you say, will AI be my assistant or will it be my decision maker? It is playing both roles. I really see that. It's becoming a very good companion, both sides.
Most definitely. Yeah. There's a lot there. And when we look at final advice, what is the one takeaway?
I think for individuals or business, both, I would like them to make a 30, 60, 90-day plan. How much and where they will use AI in next 30 days, how much and where they will use AI in next 60 days, and how much and where they will use AI in 90 days. Okay. And I want them to really build that plan because unless you make that plan, it's not going to happen. You know what? You have to join the gym if you really want to join the gym. It's not going to happen until you join the gym. Okay. If you want the fitness, you have to join the gym or you have to hire a trainer or you have to start doing yourself. But you have to take that step. If you have not taken that step, please take it. And you know what? Get help. Get help from people. You can contact me. You can send me a message or contact me on LinkedIn. There are so many people like me and contact them and say, hey, how do I do it? How do I use AI in my life? How do I use AI in my business? How do I do better? How do I improve the quality of my life? How do I improve something in my life? Or you know what? Here is the thing. Whatever is boring, whatever is repetitive, whatever is consuming a lot of your time, whatever is stressful, whatever requires assistance, a lot of these things are actually good candidate for using AI. So find that is repetitive. Find that something which you do. Look at it. How do I do my whole day? Where do I suffer? Where are the things? Okay, add AI in those things, and it is possible. There are so many AI tools available. You can build those AI tools quickly yourself. The cost is not much, and it is. So everybody should really make a plan to use AI. That's I will ask the world.
Great guidance, AJ. Thank you for being our 44th guest here on Titans of Today. We will include links to reach out to AJ and learn more about the things that he's working on. We have a couple things we're bringing to market in terms of some trainings and whatnot that we'll share detail and information on below for those who are interested. So, for episode 44, wrapping up here at Titans of Today, thank you all for watching this, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching this episode of Titans Up Today. What did you learn from it? Make sure to drop a comment below with your most valuable insight so that other people can engage in the conversation around what this speaker brought to the table. And then on another front, make sure to subscribe so that every time we drop a new episode, you will be notified. And that way you can keep fueling your dreams and your brain with fresh insights which can help you along your journey and along your path to your goals. So thank you so much again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next interview.